Hello people, welcome back to my channel. This is Ranjiraj, and today what we'll be basically doing is we'll be starting off with a new series in machine learning, and that's all regarding the Python basics, the Python skills that is required. So uh, we'll be starting with a new series called as the skill series. So we'll cover Python as well as R programming languages for data analytics as well as different purposes for classification, regression, and other stuffs. So before that, for whom these videos are targeted or who should watch these videos, the target audience. So the target audience are those who have some programming basics, that is, they have some knowledge about programming languages like Java, C, or C++, or any other programming languages which they have worked before. So I will not go into the from the scratch about what different data types are and what are the syntax basically. We'll be mainly discussing about the semantics, that is the logic behind building each of the functions. So I initially didn't start this implementation because if we lack certain concepts in machine learning, then it won't be a point to make videos. So since we have a very good knowledge about all these concepts in machine learning, so I found it like we should kick this off at this point of time. So that's why I decided to start the Python series. Yeah, so uh, what we will basically do is there are different ways to do Python programming. So one can use the IDLE Python idle shell, and you can do on that. You can install Anaconda, you can install PyCharm, and different things are there. But usually, uh, in a broader sense, when we talk about the Python coding, usually what we do is we generate a IPNB file, that is IPython Jupyter notebook file, which you can then collaborate in Google Drive and you can share. So that becomes a more flexible way than depending on just machines. So you can do in many of the ways you can do programming, but just the uh, logic remains different and the syntax and all just is the same. So without further ado, what we do is first of all, in order to do this or in order to start with the programming, what we will be basically doing is we'll be using something called as Google Collab. So this Google Collab is basically provided by Google itself. So at the backend, where you don't have very high computing engine or where you don't have a very high like gaming laptop which has larger GPUs and all those stuffs. Don't worry about that because Google is there to help you. So at the back end, you have a Google computing engine where it will handle all your request and load that you put on the systems. So here is the web page that is about Google Colab. So you can create new notebooks. You can do executable code. You can do the latex typing and all if you know all those stuffs. And so this is the page of Google Colab, and also you can build different TensorFlow models. So that is for the main purpose we are introducing this Google Colab. So the basic requirement is that you need to have a Gmail ID, and since you know that I've already logged in with my Gmail account, so what I basically do is I just click onto this link, and here are some default files that you get with this. So this is the introduction page where it welcomes you to the collaboratory to have different kinds of uh, collaborations and other different ideas with this. So what I basically do is mm, I'll just create a new notebook. So it's basically simple like how you use any other tools. So basically it's like you create a new notebook by clicking on the file tab, So it will just create you an untitled IPython notebook, Jupyter notebook. So that is IPYNB. So now what we'll be do is we'll just rename this as basics and just save it. It is saved. So that is a basics IPython Jupyter notebook, which is collaboratory from Google. So let me give you an overview of this. So here what you basically have is uh, this is a connection component. So now your runtime at the backend is not connected. So what you want to do is you want to click connect. So it will show two options like the disk and the RAM. So you can see like initializing Python 3 Google Computing Engine backend. So at the backend it is using the Python 3, which is the latest one. So and the available RAM and the disk space is also given over here. So you need not worry about the computing engine from where you will get that much amount of computing engine, or if you are running any high-end TensorFlow models or for classification or segmentation stuffs. You need not worry about that. And to this pane that is on the left hand side, you can see different options that you can get: table of contents, and then you can do different kinds of activities. You can import the data set here, which will be shown in this portion. And so basically in the middle portion you have two sections. One is for code and one is for text. So if you want to add a text cell, you can just click here and you can just type something like this is the first Python tutorial. That's it. So it will just display, and if you want to use different options, this is the Python tutorial or large text or something like this, then it will do the job. Yo. So this is the first Python tutorial. So what you basically do is you have different options here: file. You can, or if you already have some other Python file which is there in py format or in other text format, you can just import into your system onto this collaboratory. Or if you have a GitHub version, or if you have all your codes on a GitHub space, then you can just import all those files here. So different kinds of options are that you can just explore here. And then you have different options at this portion. So just keep in mind that whenever you restart your session a new day, that is if I'm doing this tomorrow, then my runtime will be resetted, so I need to restart it again. So that you need to keep in mind, else at the back end it won't do the computation. So make sure that you just save your Python files, this Jupyter notebook IPYNB files, uh, after your work. And obviously it will be saved to your Google Drive, so you need not worry about like saving onto the disk. So it will be automatically stored on your Google Drive. It is connected. So and then you have some settings option here, so you can just change the layout of this. So I have kept this to dark because it will just soothe your eyes and it will not put that much strain. Or if you are coding at the night and if your eyes becomes very much drained because of your heavy day duty or activity, so you need not worry about that. Just put into the dark theme, or you can put into adaptive. So accordingly to the daylight changes, it will change the themes. If you put into light and if you save, you get like this. So if you are fine with this, you can use this light theme, but I'm fine with the dark theme. Yeah. And then what you basically have is you have some other editing options, or on the for the editor Colab Pro, but this is mainly for the US people, or it's only available in the US. And then you have some miscellaneous. So here basically you have some power options. which you can have to this extra power. And then you have some modes here, that is the corgi mode and kitty mode. So if I just click here, it just for some animations. So you get some kind of animations here like this. And if you just change this to kitty mode, then something else will come here. So some sort of things come here. If you change this settings, a kitty will be coming. So that is a kind of fun thing. You can add this to your work. So having talked about all these stuffs, so we'll be mainly using this setup for doing our activity or for doing our code. Yeah, that kitty game. So this is just for fun. So I'll just untick this. Yeah. So we'll be mainly using this collaboratory platform from Google for doing an activity, even for the machine learning task, as well as for the visualization task, for TensorFlow things and all. We will be mainly relying on this. So let's start with the very first step in the coding. So usually in all programming languages, whether it's C or C++ or Java, we mainly write with the hello world program or the hello world kind of stuffs. So how do we do that? So it's very simple in Python, just it's a one liner. You won't believe, you do not need any imports or kind of star or import.io dot star or anything like that. So it's very simple. So if you are familiar with the print function which you already have, so just automatically pops out. So this is the feature of this. If you do on collaboratory, it will just give you like what the print function is. So you can see like it's already a built-in function or method. So just put this. So it will also give you the syntax of what to write, what to include. So prints the values to a stream or to a system dot standard output by default. And then you have different parameters which you can use, which is just the optional. So we'll not go into the details of this, just will print this. So we have our hello world program, and it just changed the color coding. So whatever is the string inside this parenthesis, it turns out to be red or some reddish color. And at the function, it is a built-in function, so it's a definition print, so it's in some other color. And in most of the programming languages, whether it's Java or C or C++, you encounter that the end of a statement or end of particular line is characterized with the help of a semicolon like this. So but in Python you need not type the semicolon, that is an optional thing. Without this also your program will run efficiently and successfully. So what we do is we just run cell. You can just also press Ctrl and enter from your keyboard in order to do this. So whenever you do this, you can see the output here, and you can also see the log, like who executed this, executed in how much seconds, that is 0.594 seconds. So it's that much faster at the back end. Why? Because we are using this Python 3 Google computing engine at the back end. So because of that, it's very fast. And so you get this, that is the output. So it's a hello world, and if you want to clear this output, just press this cross button, it's cleared. And if you want to run again, that is the hello world program or hello Python programmers. It's as simple as that. So no errors on this, and this is the very first Python tutorial, and hopefully we'll meet in another series of this Python skill series. where we will be doing all the math computations and all other stuffs. So till then, take care. And if you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much for watching this video.